Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Well, today we're going to look at verses 39 through 43, and this will conclude Psalm 107, and it will get us ready for Psalm 108, which is not a two-parter. It's just, we'll do that in 1 week. That's only through verse 13. And then we'll come to 109, and 109 is a bigger psalm. So let me just look there real quick. 109 goes to 31 verses. So I think I do that in 2 parts. Maybe I do that in, I do that in 2 parts. So we'll look at 108 next week, and then 109, we'll have another 2-parter there, and we'll divide that up. That'll be a fun one, too. All right, so today, 39 through 43, let me read those verses. Again, they are minished and brought low through oppression, affliction, and sorrow. He pours out contempt upon princes and causes them to wander in the wilderness where there is no way. Yet he sets the poor on high from affliction and makes him families like a flock. The righteous shall see it and rejoice, and all iniquity shall stop her mouth. Whoso is wise and will observe these things, even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Lord. So verse 39, again they are minished and brought low. So we know what to do now, don't we? We know that when you're minished and brought low through oppression, affliction, and sorrow, what do? You cry out unto the Lord in that trouble, and he brings them out. Now, it says he pours contempt upon princes. I'm thinking that that's probably those who attack his people, those who are oppressing his people. He pours contempt upon them. Remember Psalm 2, the Lord laughs at the rage of the princes and the kings of the earth and the peoples of the earth. He pours contempt upon them, and they wander in the wilderness. But, verse 41, he sets the poor on high from affliction. Now again, you'll notice the pronouns. We've been tracking those since verse 33. He turns the rivers, he turns the wilderness, he makes the hungry to dwell. He blessed them also. He pours out contempt upon princes, yet he sets the poor on high from affliction. Now, so who is the poor here? Well, this is the poor in spirit that Jesus talked about. This is the poor man that David talked about in Psalm 34. This is the hungry up there in verse 36. Those who are poor in spirit, who are hungry for the Lord, that's the man that he sets on high from affliction, because he's the one that's learned this lesson to call on him. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. That's the man who says that. That's the man who exalts him in the congregation of the peoples and praises him in the assembly of the elders. Why? Because the Lord is good, and his loving kindness has extended to him. So the princes, well, they think they're somebody, don't they? All they have is a wilderness. The poor man, he thinks he's nobody, but yet loves the Lord. He's the one that will be like a flock. His families will be like a flock. The righteous shall see it and rejoice, and all iniquity shall stop her mouth. Why is that? Because there's nothing left to say. The Lord has shown his goodness to his people. He has shown how he can handle the wicked and the fool and all of those, the princes and all the contempt that they show to his people. He can handle all of that. And so there's nothing else for iniquity to say. Nothing else. There's no other mocking. There is no other scoffing. There's no other scorn that can be mentioned, because the Lord's goodness puts a stop to it. The righteous will see it and rejoice, and iniquity will shut up. Verse 43 is our lesson. And I've been teasing this since day 1 in this psalm back last week. Here's the lesson. Whoso is wise and will observe these things, even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Lord. Do you want to understand the loving kindness of the Lord? Then notice verse 43. Whoso is wise and will observe. Are you willing to observe these things? Because that's that's what he's saying here. Who is wise and will observe these things? Even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Lord. So if you want to know the loving kindness of the Lord, look at Psalm 107. Consider what he does and his loving kindness to the children of men. Then you'll understand it, because that is his great character. Join me again next week. We'll look at Psalm 108 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.